Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever felt like you're just drowning in a sea of technical jargon? Well, today we're going to throw you a lifeline. We are breaking down the art of technical reading so you can turn those super complex, intimidating documents into knowledge you can actually use.
You know that feeling, right? You're staring at a research paper, it's just this dense wall of text and equations, and you feel totally, completely lost. Trust me, I've been there. But here's the good news. There is a method to the madness, and by the time we're done here, you are going to have a step-by-step system to conquer even the most difficult technical papers out there.
So, what's our roadmap for today? First, we'll cover why your mindset is key before you even start reading. Then, we'll dive into two powerful ways to read, critically and creatively. After that, we get practical with note-taking, and we'll even tackle the tough stuff like math and data sheets. And finally, we'll wrap it all up into one awesome technical reading toolkit just for you.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning, the absolute foundation, conceptualizing your research. This is all about setting your intention. Because before you even open a paper, you need a clear idea of what you're looking for. Seriously, this one step can be the difference between just wandering around aimlessly and reading with real purpose.
Every great research objective, the very thing that's going to guide your reading, stands on three pillars. Think of it like a three-legged stool. First, originality. Are you adding something new to the conversation? Second, significance. Does it actually matter? Will anyone care? And third, solvability. Can you realistically get it done? If any one of those legs is missing, the whole thing just falls apart. You need all three.
And this is why that first step is so crucial. When you can build a research objective that nails all three of those pillars, that's a huge sign. It means you've gone from just consuming information to being ready to create it. It's what separates the beginners from the experts in any field.
All right, so once you've got your objective locked in, it's time to actually read. But here's the secret. You can't just read with one mindset. To really get everything you can out of a paper, you need to learn to switch between two different lenses, a critical lens and a creative one.
Think about it like this. Critical reading is when you put on your detective hat. You're skeptical. You're looking for holes in the story, questioning every assumption, trying to find what's wrong. But then, you switch to creative reading. Now you're an architect. You see the solid foundation they've built, and you start thinking, okay, this is cool. What else can we build with this? What new ideas does this spark? You need to be both the detective and the architect.
So how do you become that great detective? Well, you start asking the tough questions. Don't just take their word for it. Ask yourself, did they even solve the right problem in the first place? Is there a way simpler solution they just totally missed? And what aren't they telling me? What are the limitations they kind of swept under the rug? This is how you go from being a passive reader to a sharp, active analyst. So as you're wearing these two hats, your brain is going to be on fire with ideas and questions and connections. So where does all that stuff go? Well, that's where note-taking comes in. This is the bridge that takes you from simply seeing words on a page to truly deeply understanding the material.
I absolutely love this quote because it is 100% true. Look, over a career, you're going to read hundreds, maybe thousands of papers. There is no way you can remember it all. Your notes, they become your external brain. They're the foundation for everything you do next. This isn't just a good habit. For any serious work, it's totally non-negotiable.
So what's the most efficient way to do this? You have to try the 3-pass strategy, okay? Pass 1 is the 5-minute flyby. Just read the title, the abstract, the conclusion. Ask yourself, is this even relevant to me? If not, bam, you just saved yourself hours. If it is, you move to Pass 2. Here, you only look at the pictures, the figures, the tables, and their captions. This gives you the core story in just a few minutes. And only then, if it's super important, do you commit to Pass 3, the deep dive, where you read the whole thing. I'm telling you, this is a total game changer.
Okay, let's talk about the parts of a paper that can feel the most, well, scary. Especially when you get to that deep dive. I'm talking about those dense pages of math, complex algorithms, and data sheets. Let's break down how to handle them without breaking a sweat.
When you hit a page that's just full of equations, the temptation to just glaze over and skip it is so real. But please don't. Those equations and proofs, they're the heart of the paper. They're like the treasure map that shows you the exact logical path the authors took. If you can follow that map, you won't just know what they found, you'll understand how they found it, which is so much more powerful.
And what about algorithms? Here is a pro tip that will save you so much grief later on. Don't just assume the algorithm in the paper works perfectly. Take a few minutes, fire up your favorite coding language, and just quickly code a simple version of it. You'd be surprised how often you find little glitches. This quick check makes sure you're not trying to build your own amazing work on top of a shaky foundation.
And finally, let's talk datasheets. Now, if you're in electronics, you already live and breathe these things. For everybody else, the best way to think of a datasheet is like a super detailed instruction manual for a single electronic part. It tells you exactly what it is, what it does, what its limits are, and how to use it without making it go up in smoke.
And when you're looking at one, there are a few key sections you need to find. The pinout, that's basically the connect the dots diagram. The electrical characteristics tell you how it's going to behave. Then you have the absolute maximum ratings. This is the big red danger line you never ever cross. And my personal favorite, the application notes. These are pure gold. They're like free recipes from the manufacturer showing you cool ways to use the part. Phew, we have covered a ton of ground, haven't we? From high-level mindset all the way down to the nitty-gritty of data sheets. So now, let's pull it all together. Because you're no longer someone who feels overwhelmed by these documents. You now have a complete toolkit to feel empowered to tackle any of them. So here it is, your complete toolkit. You start by conceptualizing your purpose with those 3 pillars. You read with 2 different hats on, your critical detective hat and your creative architect hat. You use the super efficient 3-pass method to save time. And you have your special moves for the tricky stuff. You code the algorithm and you dissect the datasheet. This is your path to mastering technical reading. So, the big question I have for you is this. Now that you have this toolkit, which tool are you going to use first? Think about that the next time you open up a complex paper. You have the strategies now to not just read it, but to truly understand it and build on it. Hey, if you found this helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives like this. And let me know in the comments which one of these tips you're most excited to try out. Thanks so much for watching.